out with a sensational performance, leading Dallas into a first-place tie in the NFC East. This week, one more major setback, and the Cowboys must now put another obstacle behind them as the playoffs approach. Today, they travel west to Arizona against Boomer Esiason and the Cardinals, who look to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Sun Devil Stadium, the home of the Arizona Cardinals, as the Cowboys come to town to face the Cardinals. A December game when it's stretch run time and a must win for both these teams. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, as these two teams approach this, what do they have to do?
Well, I think, as you say, you play the whole season to get to this position where you can make it a 3-game season. And that's exactly what the Cowboys are doing now. But they have to take these 3 games to defend their championship. And the way they're playing on offense now, they're not going to make it. I think they have to get back. They have to get a balance. They would have to have a running game like they did against the Redskins, a passing game like they did against the Miami Dolphins. As far as the Arizona Cardinals, they've lost 12 straight to these Cowboys. And they aren't going to do it with their running game. Their defense is pretty good. But if they're going to have any kind of chance today, Boomer Esiason has to have a big day passing.
Earlier today, prior to the national anthem, the entire NFL observed a moment of silence to honor the late commissioner, Pete Rozelle. And we'd like to share that moment with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this past Friday, former NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle died at his home in California. All of us will long remember his creative leadership of the National Football League and his interest in and service to NFL fans. At this time, we ask you to pause for a moment of silence in his memory.
Crowd on hand. There's your weather forecast, and today's weather forecast is for it to stay just like it is, sunny. Temperature 77 degrees, very little wind. Leland McElroy and LeSean Johnson back deep for Arizona to receive Chris Boniol's kickoff. Johnson is 32, McElroy is 30. No wind, so no help. Just the thin air for Chris Boniol's kickoff. Spiraling kick, mishandled by LeSean Johnson, picked up, and down he goes. Fumble! On the opening kickoff, the Cowboys had a shot at it. The Cardinals say, we've got it, and we'll just wait. Cardinals ball. Let's look at the offense for the Arizona Cardinals, led by the left-hander Boomer Esiason. Coming off a hot streak. In front of him, Brown, Dexter, the rookie, Devlin, the rookie, Redmond, and Wolf. LeSean Johnson and Larry Centers, the 2 setbacks. Moore and Sanders wide, and Pat Carter, the tight end. As they open up from their own 21, Boomer Esiason. Back to throw it on first down. Outside to Pat Carter. Pat Carter gets up to the 30. And let's look at the Dallas defense. Remade for this week. Tony Tolbert at left end. Chad Hennings and Tony Casillas, the tacklers. The tackles, I should say. Shante Carver. Darren Smith, Fred Strickland in the middle, and Randall Godfrey, the rookie. Alundis Price, George Teague, Darren Woodson, Kevin Smith. Deion Sanders did not start. 83 for a first. That's Johnson, and he does doesn't get much.
Yeah, it's interesting that Deion Sanders didn't start, Pat. Deion Sanders injured himself in the pregame warm-up. He got a back spasm. We were watching him in the warm-up, and you can see right here, he just went down, and then he kind of grabbed his back, and then he could hardly get off the field. And then they took him into the locker room, and they're still working on him now. And
he hasn't come out.
And he hasn't come out, so Alundis Bryce is starting in his place.
3rd and 1. Johnson got the 1 and 6 or 7 more. Darren Smith made the stop.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Yesterday we were talking to Boomer Esiason and to Vince Tobin, and they feel that their wide receivers have to play a big part in this game. They have to be able to throw the ball, and I was thinking, how are their receivers going to get open against Deion Sanders and Kevin Smith? Then Deion Sanders is injured in the pregame warm-up, and now Alundis Bryce is playing out there, and they can throw on Alundis Bryce.
Deion Sanders just was lined up in a defensive position, and all of a sudden he went down on all fours, and you saw him try to walk off. They put 2 receivers in that direction. Esiason gives to Larry Centers, who gets about 5. Those of you that watch the Bears destroy St. Louis 35-9, welcome to Sun Devil Stadium, the home of the Arizona Cardinals. 0-0. We've just started the first quarter. 2nd and 7 coming up.
And this Cowboy defense is going to be a heck of a lot different. One, you take out a Leon Lett, who was suspended this week for a year. You take Charles Haley out of there, who really hasn't played all year, has been their best pass rusher. Then one thing you say, well, they still got coverage. Then Deion Sanders is injured in the pregame warm-up, so they don't have him.
And Esiason goes to work in that direction, hits his tight end, Pat Carter. Another Cardinal first down, a good throw by Boomer. Alundis Bryce made the stop.
Yeah, it's interesting. Pat Carter's in his 9th year in this league, and he's always been a blocker. You know, and they never paid much attention to him. And Vince Tobin says, well, why don't we throw to him? Why can't he catch? And well, he can catch, but he's been known as a blocker. And so let's start throwing to him. And Boomer Esiason said that's not a bad idea. And this guy's having a career high in his 9th year.
1st and 10. Again, they go with 3 wideouts. Centers is the deep back. And Boomer to throw it. Pass is caught by Rob Moore.
Yeah, I wonder if the Cardinals know, or if Boomer Esiason knows on this first drive that Deion Sanders isn't out there, because their game plan was to work this side over here and to work against Kevin Smith. And that's what they're doing. You see, they're throwing out to this side right here against Kevin Smith. They were going to stay away from Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is usually on their offensive left, and Kevin Smith would be on their offensive right. So I wonder if they just ought to take a look out here and see what they got out there. Whoops.
LaShawn Johnson, the ball carrier, doesn't quite get the first down, slipped on the turf just as he approached the line of scrimmage. You know, you look at the Dallas defense, John, and think that not too long ago they were playing in the Super Bowl right here in the same stadium, and of that defensive front 4, only 1 player is left, Tony Tolbert.
Yeah, and then they had some pretty good players that aren't. I mean, Charles Haley was one of the best pass rushers that I think that ever played. Russell Maryland, Leon Lett. And there's Ray Childress, who they just signed after Leon Lett was suspended. Ray Childress, of course, who had all those great years with the Houston Oilers.
4 wide receivers this time. Boomer out of the shotgun. Stopped by Centers, but not enough for the first down. George Teague up to take him down. Now, why?
I don't know. I mean, I think Boomer Esiason and this offense, Jim Fossil, the coordinator, really let Alundis Bryce off the hook. I think they're going to go for it here on 4th down. I mean, maybe they see because he's playing off and they can hit their left side or the right defensive side of the Cowboys. And, you know, again, you game plan and you script and you have all those things. And you script with one thing in mind. You script that, you know, you're going to stay away from Deion Sanders. But then he's not out there. And I think in his first drive, they're staying away from his position.
They go on a quick count. And they get the first down to Frank Sanders, who came out of the slot. somebody looked up from the script and got the message.
Well, that's the thing that Boomer Esiason does so well, is go on that quick count, and get rid of the ball quickly. Here's Sanders here. He's in the slot, and you just see him just run a short out. Boomer Esiason just comes up, boom, he gets that ball out of there before Darren Woodson can get close to him.
Welcome to those of you who watched Atlanta beat New Orleans to Sun Devil Stadium, the home of the Cardinals. And the Cardinals took the opening kickoff, and they still have the ball. They lost it again. The fumble by LaShawn Johnson. They lost yardage. He recovered his own fumble. And the Cowboys get a break.
Now you're going to
pitch.
Yeah, you see the handoff here. It looked like he had to reach a little too much, and it just popped right out of LaShawn Johnson's hand.
Hit him up about the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Boomer got it back there. He got it a little high. Boomer Esiason is one of the great faking quarterbacks in football.
Pass flag is thrown. It was intended for Frank Sanders.
And working on Kevin Smith. I swear, Pat, they don't know Deion Sanders isn't there.
You don't think they realize it yet?
No, I really don't. They haven't gone to that side, and that's the side you should go to. They came in with a game plan. They wanted to work Sanders in the slot. They wanted to work centers, and they wanted to work their outside receivers on Kevin Smith, and that's what they're doing. And here's Kevin Smith right here, and again, you're going to see the penalty here when the ball's in the air. You see that hit? First of all, you can't hit after 5 yards, and you can't touch a receiver before the ball gets there when the ball's in the air.
He didn't protest too loudly.
Yeah, he's been having a problem with that. And the Cardinals complained about it. Vince Tobin said, last time we played there in Dallas, their 2 corners held us on every play.
18-yard penalty. Here's Boomer looking in the direction. Pass is almost intercepted by George Teague. That's one he should have picked off.
Yep, he finally looked out there that time. He had Rob Moore out there, and I think he was going to throw to Rob Moore, but Rob Moore falls down. Watch, here's Rob Moore. Look at Alundis Bryce, how far off he is. Rob Moore is going to run a pattern here. Now watch when he starts in, and then he starts back right there. He falls down. And had Boomer been able to get the ball to him, he can do that.
That one should have been intercepted.
Yeah, it hit George Teague right between the 3 and the O.
2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers. Sanders. Not much. But with his second lunge, he got down to about the 15. Harper came up to make the stop.
You know, it's funny, you talk to NFL players and coaches, and I think there's as much respect for Larry Centers as any back in this league. You know, I know Terry Allen for the Redskins has a lot of respect. Of course, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, and those guys do, but I think that this is kind of a gem that's maybe lost here in Arizona is Larry Centers, and anyone that ever plays against him always talks about how tough Larry Centers is. I'm not just as a pass receiver, but he is a devastating blocker.
This is the 13th play of this drive. 3rd and 5. Esiason out of the spread. Batted down. The pass batted away by Chad Hennings.
Yeah, you're going to see the Cowboys are just here in a 3-man line. So they're playing off 8. They're just rushing 3. Chad Hennings has 3 guys on him right there. He stands right in the middle. Boomer Esiason just threw that one too low. It wasn't a Chad Hennings even had it jump. Watch that. Watch where the ball comes out. You see it down there? He just throws that too low. I mean, he throws that like a side armor.
Longtime Chicago Bear Kevin Butler. Now the Cardinal kicker will try from 33 yards out. And Butler's kick is good, and the Cardinals keep the ball for 15 plays and get ahead 3-0. And is enjoying today's game with Cowboys and Cardinals. Snoopy will co-pilot the MetLife blimp above NFL football games throughout the year. He's got a pretty good seat today. Sellout crowd at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. Kevin Williams and Herschel Walker back deep for Kevin Butler's short kickoff. And it's going to be Kevin Williams at about the 7. Skips through one tackler, but doesn't make it quite back to the 20. Chris Christopherson down to make the stop. There's Deion Sanders, who went down in the pregame warm-ups and has just come back to the field on the sideline. He still doesn't look like he could play. Back at Sun Devil Stadium, the Cardinals leading the Cowboys 3-0. Troy Aikman, of course, the quarterback for Dallas. In front of him, that big veteran offensive line, Q&A, Newton, Donaldson, Allen, and Williams. Emmitt Smith, Darrell Johnston, Kevin Williams, Michael Irvin, and Ty J. Armstrong starting at tight end instead of Derek Bjornson. Aikman to Smith. Emmitt Smith gets 9 yards on a broken play. Matt Darby brought him down. Let's look at that Cardinal defense. The front four, Rice, Wilson, Swan, and Bankston. The 3 linebackers and 3 good ones, Miller, Hill, and Seth Joyner. And in the secondary, Bradford, Alexander, Darby, who has a broken hand, and Aeneas Williams.
And Aeneas Williams is going to line up every play on Michael Irvin.
2nd and 1. Aikman to Smith. First down, Cowboys. Right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, Kerry Collins was 3 for 3 for 49 yards. Here he finds Wesley Walls. Walls, you recall, had 2 touchdown catches in the first meeting this year. He's got one now. Panthers on top by a touch. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
The Cardinals on top. The Cowboys with the ball. They just picked up a first down. Emmitt Smith deep. Smith met at the line of scrimmage. Short yard. Stopped by Seth Joyner.
You know, that Larry Allen, I mean, he pulled and he ran into Jameer Miller. Watch Larry Allen pull here, and they don't make much in the play, but he hits Miller so hard here he knocks his helmet right off. I mean, he is so powerful. Just watch as he comes out here and boom. I mean, he just hits there and things just start to spin in his helmet. I mean, he goes down to both knees, gets spun and turned around, and his helmet gets knocked off.
Herschel Walker split wide to the right. Aikman on 2nd and long, back to throw it. Pump fake, Aikman is sacked.
There's the guy who is the real deal, Simeon Rice. A rookie, that's his 10th and a half sack. I mean, this guy is a pass rusher. Watch him here. I mean, he naturally has the moves of a pass rusher. He reminds me a lot of Richard Dent when Richard Dent was young. You see how he took 2-A up the field?
Yep.
And then the minute that he's watching Aikman all the way, when he sees Aikman step up, whack, he comes right underneath 2-A.
He has that great ability to change direction very quickly. 3rd and 11. Here's Aikman back to throw. Caught by Kelvin Martin. And he has made some big catches since coming back to the Cowboys.
And this is what the Cowboys have to do. They have to protect for Troy Aikman, and then he has to find those wide receivers. But look at this protection. This is a perfect pocket here. You see that he can just step up and throw either inside or outside. On the other end of this is just Kelvin Martin just having a good feeling. Feeling that, you know, when he's open and just stopping and turning around.
Darrell Johnston on the move, and Emmitt Smith the carry. Emmitt lunges for about a yard.
You know, an interesting thing, Kelvin Martin catching that first down play. Look at who Troy Aikman has gone to on 3rd downs this year. 13 times completed to Kelvin Martin, 10 to Deion Sanders, 8 to Kevin Williams, 8 to Eric Bjornson, and only 5 to Michael Irvin.
That's surprising.
I think it's not only surprising, I think that's one of the problems of the Cowboys offense.
2nd and 9. Aikman quickly intended for Darrell Johnston, incomplete. Bjornson has replaced Ty J. Armstrong.
And you think of you know that with that big offensive line of the Cowboys and with Emmitt Smith when he's healthy, and he's said he's feeling as well right now as he has all year, but that ankle isn't going to get better 100% until the offseason. But they're going to be able to run the ball. But if they're going to be a championship team again, they have to do better in the pass area. In this area right here, third down passing.
Third and long. Aikman. Intended for Kevin Williams, incomplete, and the Cowboys will have to punt. Deion Sanders over on the sideline sitting on his helmet. The Cardinals leading 3-0.
One of the problems with the Cowboy pass offense is the wide receivers just aren't getting open. They aren't getting any separation. Kevin Williams on that play wasn't open. Michael Irvin hasn't been getting open.
Anthony Edwards back deep for John Jett's punt. Jets punts a dandy. Edwards retreats. Lets it go through the end zone. The Cardinals will start at their own 20 with 3:07 left to play in the first quarter. Arizona leading Dallas 3-0.
Deion Sanders was just in a stance and he went down and he had trouble getting up. The trainer comes over, takes him in the locker room, and here he is just a little while ago coming out of the locker room. And I don't see there's any way that Deion Sanders is going to be playing. He look right here. He got one of those stem things on, that go right to his back that give, the stimulation to the muscle. He has a muscle spasm in the back. And the interesting thing is on the first drive of the Cardinals, I don't think they knew Alundis Bryce was in there. I really don't.
They know by now. Here's Esiason. This pass is caught by Rob Moore. Incomplete. Sorry.
You're talking about being in a zone or being hot or whatever the word now for guys that play well is. How about Boomer Esiason against the Washington Redskins? Threw for 522 yards and the third highest in a game of all time in the NFL. We saw film of that game, and it looks like anything he just put up there went in.
Well, you could see him gaining confidence in his receivers. Here he is. And the handoff is to Liam McElroy. McElroy up to the 25, picked up about 5.
We're talking to Vince Tobin yesterday, and the last time we did this game, he's always talking about McElroy. He's a rookie that he always wants to get in there. And sometimes that happens to you as a coach, and you want this guy to get in there, you want him to play, you want to see him, but the way the game goes, you just don't get it. LaShawn Johnson starts. Then when they go to one back, that one back is Larry Centers. And then you're going to pass sometimes, and you got your nickel offense in there and so on. And you just don't have a lot of plays for the guy to be in there, like this one.
Boomer goes out of the spread. 4 wide receiver setup. Oh, he got him. Yep. Pass is incomplete as he was chased by Shante Carver, but Shante is a man who jumped too early.
Yeah, and Boomer was trying to do that too. Yeah, we talk about him being a master of the play fake. He's also a master of drawing people off sides with his cadence, and he did it. Just watch and listen to this. This is what he's doing.
Spread.
You see him move his shoulders and everything?
Yep.
And the guy that he got was their right end, Shante Carver.
And the penalty, if they mark it off, or when they mark it off, Walt Coleman is the referee.
That's a first down.
And that will be a first down for the Arizona Cardinals. They have playoff aspirations, as of course do the Cowboys.
Well, like Vince Tobin says, he's not thinking about playoffs and and how you get in and if they're alive and a chance. He said it boils down to one thing. He said we have to beat the Cowboys. He said if we beat the Cowboys today, then we can think about those things. If we don't, who cares?
Here's Boomer back to throw. Incomplete. Too high. No flags intended for Frank Sanders.
I still don't think they've thrown a pass out there on Alundis Bryce. And maybe they know it, and they probably do know it, but sometimes you get locked into your game plan.
Yep.
And you practice a game plan all week, and that's not part of your plan, and it's hard to go to. I don't think they can make that adjustment. You see Deion Sanders is there trying. He's seeing if that stem is working and that other stuff. I think he gets up like every minute or so, but it's still not working.
He doesn't get all the way up.
Now.
Here's Boomer. Pass incomplete to Frank Sanders, hit hard by Darren Woodson.
Yeah, Charlie Williams came flying across there, number 42. This is a pretty good throw. I mean, the ball is right there. Darren Woodson is on top of him, and Charlie Williams comes underneath. There's Charlie Williams right there. He gives him that little bump that knocks the ball out of there, but looked like Frank Sanders should have been able to hold on to that. I mean, once you go inside, you know you're going to get hit anyway, so you might as well just hold on to the thing.
I don't think he saw Charlie Williams coming, or maybe he did see him coming.
And maybe it was just that little bump from Charlie Williams that knocked the ball out.
Cowboys go with a three-man rush, although they're threatening blitz. Now they back out of it. Boomer has time. Incomplete. That should have been caught also. Stevie Anderson.
Now that was terrible. I mean, if that happens in practice, you drive yourself crazy. I mean, this is where you say you have to catch a ball with your hands. You have to catch it out in front with your hands. What happened is he jumped up. He really didn't have to jump, and the ball hit him on the left knee. The ball hit his knee before it got to the hand. Sometimes if you catch it too close to your body, like your chest, it'll hit your chest. That one hit his knee.
Jeff Feagles back to punt. And deep for Dallas is Kelvin Martin. Flag on the play. I think they took a little too much time. Walt Coleman, the referee.
Well, the umpire was up there holding the ball before that.
Prior to the snap, offense number 56, 5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
It couldn't have really been too much time because the umpire was holding before.
I think it might be some problem with the clock.
Well, he wants to put the time back on.
Yeah. Well, this weather, absolutely perfect.
If you're not a fat guy, I mean, it's not good weather for big guys. Linemen do not like this weather. It's too hot.
Golfers do.
You see, here's the umpire right there holding up the ball. See, now he got out. That's what he did the last time, too.
Eagles back to punt. Very nearly blocked. Kelvin Martin signals fair catch, and the Cowboys will take over at their own 23-yard line. With the Cardinals leading in the first quarter, 3-0. Deion Sanders still can't stand up straight.
Well, but you see who he's going over to, Pat. He was making his way over to Alundis Bryce, and Deion Sanders has seen everything and done everything as a defensive back in this league, and Alundis Bryce has to play for him, and I think at some point the Cardinals are going to start working on him. I think Deion is just offering advice and saying what they're doing and what they're trying to set him up for.
1st and 10, Dallas. Aikman will throw it. Kevin Williams makes the catch. Stopped by Ronnie Bradford. It is hot down on the field.
I know, you can tell that. I mean, when you see a guy like Jim Schwantz, who's become the best special teams guy of the Cowboys, when he's down there with that ice in the neck and trying to get cooled off, it's hot down there because he's not a great big guy. The great big guys will be dying in this weather.
Second and a bit short, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt breaks into the Cardinals secondary. Gets to the 40. 80, 90 degrees, close to it, down on the field.
Yeah, and then you put all that gear on, and that adds another 15 degrees or so. So under those shoulder pads and that stuff, it's probably 100 degrees.
Irvin McCormick taking advantage of that big fan.
Yeah, but how about those big offensive linemen? Yeah. How about Eric Williams and Larry Allen and Nate Newton and Mark Tuinei and Ray Donaldson and those guys?
Here's Emmitt Smith again. Behind Newton and Tuinei and Darrell Johnston for about 3.
Remember when Emmitt Smith was running out of bounds? We did a game against the 49ers, and I said that Emmitt Smith in that game ran out of bounds more than I've ever seen him do in his whole career. He said what it was, his ankle was bothering him so much that he couldn't stop and plant. so he could only go in one direction. And when he would start towards the sideline, he said he couldn't plant or stop on that foot, so he just had to run right out of bounds.
2nd and 7. Johnston goes in motion. And Aikman goes back to throw. Gets it outside. To Ty J. Armstrong. Ty J. gets up to midfield.
Well, you weigh 280 pounds and you're a tight end. You don't go down with just one hit. Sometimes you don't go down with 2 or 3 hits.
That's the end of the first quarter. Arizona leading Dallas 3-0. Cowboys ball at their own 49.
This is not, this looks like it's going to be a pass because they've been in the huddle so long, or they changed the play. This is too long for a quarterback sneak. And I'll bet you the length of time they were in the huddle, this is a pass play.
Bjornson's in the lineup. Johnson goes in motion. Pass coming. Caught by Michael Irvin. At the Cardinal 30-yard line.
Yeah, they got him in that 3rd and short, and instead of going for the run, they went for the pass. Here's Michael Irvin here. He's going to come up and run that slant in here, and there's no one that throws that pass better than Troy Aikman. Watch it, that timing pass. He just comes up. When he plants right there, that left foot, the ball is in the air. Then he takes 2 more steps, and it's right there. Aeneas Williams, like we said, one of the best corners in football, is going to be on Michael Irvin all day today.
But there's not much way you can stop a throw and a catch like that. Here's Aikman back to throw it again. Irvin steps out of bounds, and it's another catch for Michael.
And this is what the Cowboys didn't do on Thanksgiving Day, is get the ball to Michael Irvin. He only caught 1 pass for 5 yards, and I think what they did is they started running Emmitt Smith and get those Cardinals to think they have to stop the run. Then they loosen up, you see, and then they're all tightened up there for the run, and then they loosen up for the pass in doing that. And Michael Irvin has been wide open on those last 2 plays.
Ty J. Armstrong back at tight end, lined up to the left side, so this should be a run, I guess. Emmitt Smith down to the 10. Matt Darby on the bottom of the pile for the Cardinals.
And Emmitt Smith, again, maybe that ankle's only 90%, but Emmitt Smith looks like he's back. Only 1 back in the backfield, so he has no lead, but he's going to get man here, and he's just going to get right in behind and then kind of bounce out at the end. You see that? This is what it looks like from Emmitt Smith. Man. Then he just finds the hole, and he makes a cut and a great move on Eric Hill.
And a fine block by Ty J. 2 tight ends. Here's Emmitt again. The crease wasn't there. Very close to a first down, not quite.
That's one heck of a battle, though, because if you take, players are the best players. Eric Swan is one of the best defensive linemen in football, and he's going against Larry Allen, who's one of the best offensive linemen in football. So you get this thing happening right here, and here, where you get 2 of the best at their position going against each other. And that's a pretty good battle there. Larry Allen got into him, got him going back a little, but Eric Swan got off him, and there was no cutback there to Eric Swan from Emmitt Smith.
3rd and 1. They spread him out. Aikman fumbled the snap from the center. The Cardinals saying we've got the ball, and they do.
I don't know that Troy Aikman didn't pull out a little quickly on that one, Pat, because there was a blitz coming.
Yeah.
You see that? There was a blitz coming right up the middle.
Eric Swan comes up with the ball.
Watch this. You're going to see the blitz, and as this thing steps up, I don't know that Troy Aikman doesn't pull out. You see, I think he did. He moved back a little bit. See, you saw Eric Hill start to hit that thing, and he started to move out before the ball got up there. Usually when you have a center like Ray Donaldson, 17 years in the league, Troy Aikman, 8 years in the league, those kinds of things don't happen.
And you don't know whose fault it is, whether Aikman pulled out too soon or whether Donaldson was late with the ball.
Or if Eric Hill's blitz affected him, because
I'm sure that
he was the guy that was moving and could move because he was a linebacker.
Here's Boomer. And the pass is caught by Moore.
Well, they finally figured out where Alundis Price was. first quarter that they didn't know where he was, and if they did know where he was, they didn't have it in the game plan, but they figured out Alundis Bryce in there, very susceptible to any kind of pass, playing for Deion Sanders. That's the area they ought to work all day.
It was one heck of a throw by Boomer Esiason.
Boomer Esiason's still very capable of throwing great passes like that.
1st and 10 at the Dallas 40. Boomer will throw it again. No, he won't. Fumble. And the Cowboys get it back. Macias and Godfrey, and let's see who's on the bottom. Wrapped around the ball.
You're going to see Boomer back there with the ball. Now, again, if his hand isn't going forward, it's a fumble. You see, it's not going forward. He just got hit from that backside by Tony Tolbert. You see, it's right there. He hits him just as a ball. In fact, it was Chad Hennings who hit him.
At Sun Devil Stadium, 2nd quarter. Cowboys just recovered the fumble. Broderick Thomas made the recovery. Aikman back to throw on 1st down. Waited and waited and waited, and finally threw it in the direction of Emmitt Smith, who's saying he was held.
Let's watch that fumble again on the clicker. We'll see as we start here. Here's Chad Hennings right here, and he's working on Redmond. He's going to make the hit. Broderick Thomas is right here. He's going to make the fumble recovery. Chad Hennings goes right around. See where the power move right there? Then he comes and he hits Boomer. See, the ball is not going forward. The ball is not going forward, and then Broderick Thomas was right there to get the fumble recovery.
2nd and 10. Here's Emmett hitting the backfield. Simeon Rice. Amazing quickness.
Yeah, he's gonna be the next top defensive lineman in football because he can do all these things and move. I mean, you're going to see him here. You see him take on 2-A and then just go to the inside and take that gap. You see, the Cardinals play what they call a 2-gap. So you have to control the gap to your outside and the gap to your inside. And that was Simeon Rice's gap, and he controlled it perfectly.
3rd and 11. 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys, and Aikman back to throw it. Michael Irvin to the 35-yard line of Arizona. Stopped by Aeneas Williams, but a 1st down Cowboys.
This is the type of thing we're talking about. Simeon Rice, watch him. This is a move. I mean, you talk about the strength. He just took Nate Newton. He was going on a stunt, took Nate Newton, threw him out of the way, just knocked Troy Aikman on his back. And how Troy Aikman made this perfect throw to Michael Irvin. You wonder how that ball even got there.
He never saw it. Aikman didn't. 21-yard pickup and a 1st down Cowboy.
But that Simeon Rice is raising some havoc down there today.
Here's Emmitt Smith. Trying to bounce to the outside, gets a yard or so, but that's about it. Simeon Rice in on the tackle.
You know, and he didn't even have a full training camp. He was a #1 draft choice, and he held out most of training camp. When we talked to him last time, he thought when he came here he was going to be a linebacker. And then they put him at defensive end, and he's just one of those guys who is a football player. I mean, I really believe that you could take Simeon Rice and he could be a linebacker like Lawrence Taylor, or he can be a defensive lineman like a Richard Dent or a Charles Haley. He's that type of talent.
Here's Herschel Walker in motion to the left. And Aikman back to throw. Here comes the blitz.
Oh, look out.
A flag down on the play.
The referee has to have better control of that. He has to blow the whistle. He can't let him have a free hit in the quarterback.
Full start prior to the snap. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Yeah, then blow your whistle, referee. I mean that's bad. That's not just because a guy moves on offense doesn't ever give the defense a free shot at an unprotected quarterback.
They were coming on the blitz, and the shot wasn't as vicious as it could have been. But watch it.
Yeah, but what happens is once they move, he has to blow the whistle, and the defense has to stop. You see, I mean, he can't stop, and then you can't hit him after he stops. You just can't do that.
2nd and 13. Jameer Miller. Here's Aikman. Up into the pocket, whips it outside to Emmitt Smith. And he's taken down for a loss. Seth Joyner out there with him. the ex-Eagle, who's played very, very well.
A good tackle by Seth Joyner, but it was good coverage downfield, because you can bet that Troy Aikman didn't want to have to throw the ball to Emmitt Smith, and on that play, he had to throw the ball to Emmitt Smith.
3rd and 15, and this is a good chance to look at who his go-to guy is going to be.
Well, if history repeats itself, it's Calvin Martin.
It has been. Today he's had success to Michael Irvin.
I bet he looks for Calvin Martin.
Martin's in the slot. Irvin. Incomplete as they wrestle Irvin and Aeneas Williams.
Good coverage by Aeneas Williams.
Excellent.
You see, he's right there, and they're going up and battling for the ball. There's 4 hands, and the ball all got there at the same time. I tell you, and those are 4 strong hands that go up there. I mean, Aeneas Williams, when he got his hands on that thing, he just ripped it right down out of there.
Anthony Edwards back deep for John Jett's punt. 8:19 left before halftime. The Cardinals leading 3-0. High kick. And caught downfield by Charlie Williams. Knocked downfield, and the Cowboys down it at about the 5-yard line, where the Cardinals will take over. They lead 3-0.
The bright sun and the lights have been on all day. Why would you do that?
I can't answer that. That's Leland McElroy. And right now, for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
All right, Pat, take a look at Dexter Carter taking the punt, heading upfield, get hit hard, loses the ball, recovered by the Panthers. That leads to a field goal, 10-0. Carolina over San Francisco. Hey, Pat, tell John I know the lights and sun means it's hot.
Yes, it does.
That's pretty good. Lights and sun equal heat. But you don't need it. You already got the heat. You got the sun. You don't need the lights.
Childress is playing tackle now for the Cowboys in place of Henning. Pass complete to Rob Moore.
Well, Boomer Esiason started out 5 for 5, and then he's been 1 for 7. This makes them 2 for 8 here. But again, they found Alundis Bryce, and that's what they're going to work on. I mean, that's the place to go. That's the old deal. When the cat's not there, the mice are going to play. The cat is Deion Sanders. He's on the sideline. And the mice are the Cardinal receivers working at this left side.
That's Ray Childress, you just saw, playing left tackle alongside Casillas. And the Cowboy defense, 5-time All-Pro. Here's the pitch back to Leland McElroy. McElroy stays on his feet. First down, Arizona, knocked out of bounds finally by Fred Strickland.
Here's the thing that they can do is you want to pack everything here and then get it to the outside. And that's exactly what they do here. You see, they get a little motion. They hook Tony Tolbert there. Then they outrun the outside, you see. And then they get a good block on the corner out there on Kevin Smith.
1st and 10, Arizona at their own 31. They've spotted Childress like they spotted Alundis Bryce.
Yeah, I think that time they got Tony Casillas, because they run right at Tony Casillas. He's on the other side. Here's Childress here. Casillas is on the other side, and they just got Childress going back, and they got Casillas going back, and there was a hole in there. Here are the 2 tackles. You see what they do to Casillas? They get him going sideways, and they run off of his double team and single Ray Childress. So they're finding a few things there that are there in that Cowboy defense that haven't been there before.
And Chad Hennings is back. And here's Boomer. Pass complete. Frank Sanders makes the reception, and they'll move those sticks again.
Yeah, you take Charles Haley out of that defense, then you take Leon Lett out of that defense, then you take Deion Sanders out of that defense, and offense can find some things against this group.
Yep. A lot of talent missing. A lot of dollars missing.
Well, you know, one thing Boomer Esiason said is his wide receivers have to have a big day, and you wondered how they were going to do it, but you can see it now.
This is McElroy. Godfrey and Casillas bring him down.
You know, Vince Tobin was talking about maintaining the intensity in the second half. He said last time, he said we had good intensity in the first quarter. We had good intensity in the second quarter. Then we started to wear down in the third quarter, and we're beaten in the fourth quarter. He said, I think we're going to have that same intensity that we had in the first half against the Cowboys the whole game today. But they can wear this Cowboy team down, too.
2nd and 10. They're used to the heat. 3 wide receivers. Blitz coming. The Cardinals pick it up pretty well. The pass is picked off by George Teague. Still trying to get up. Nobody's hit him yet. And Teague's still going. Now they're saying he's down because of contact. I didn't see it.
Boomer Esiason's receiver must have stopped because there was no receiver there. He threw it right to George Teague. There's a fight down there over there in the sideline. Watch Boomer Esiason throw the ball. There's no receiver there. The only guy there was George Teague. Bounced into his hands, bounced out, and he got it. Broderick Thomas is still down. There's another guy down on the 30-yard line where a fight had broken out. There's stuff going on all over this field.
Can't keep track of all of it. That's Broderick Thomas. There's another injured Cowboy on the other side of the field.
Yeah, down around the 30-yard line, and behind him was where a fight broke out. That's a Lundus Bryce is the other injured Cowboy. Here we're going to watch. Here's Broderick Thomas. He's the first injury right here. And he's the guy that gives the initial pressure to Boomer Esiason, who throws the ball to an area where there's no receiver.
Wendy's was hurt on an interception run back by George Teague. The Cowboys ball at their own 28.
And that interception, Larry Sanders went after a Lundus Bryce and really put a hit on him.
Incomplete, almost intercepted. Right now, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
All right, Pat, Steve Young on track here. Take a look, play action. No pressure on Young, but he decides to pass it to Brett Jones. Touchdown. First touchdown given up by Carolina in 35 possessions. Carolina still on top by 3. Back to Pat and John.
2nd and 10. Arizona leading Dallas 3-0. Sherman Williams is the deep back in place of Emmitt Smith. Aikman back to throw. Michael Irvin. Kevin Williams, I beg your pardon. Kevin Williams.
Aikman's pass is complete to number 85, Kevin Williams.
Not enough for a first down. Our Aflac trivia question this week: how did Mean Joe Green get his nickname? He is on the Cardinal coaching staff. And there he is.
There's old Mean Joe Green. We played against him, and I was with the Oakland Raiders.
Yep.
And he was one of the truly great defensive linemen of all time.
You know how he got his name?
Yeah. I know how he got his name, but
well,
I'll tell you, he was tough, and he used to line up in that gap sideways against us. And he was darn near impossible at times.
Sherman Williams, and he doesn't get anything. In fact, he lost a yard.
Sherman Williams is not a short yardage runner, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to spell him with Emmitt Smith, or spell Emmitt Smith with him, and that's okay. But I think when you get to short yardage, I think you need Emmitt Smith in there. Now maybe there's nothing that Emmitt Smith's going to do, because when you get penetration like that, I don't know that any runner would have a chance. Because you see, the thing on short yardage you have to do in defense is you have to get penetration, and that's exactly where the Cardinals beat them.
John Jett back to punt to Anthony Edwards. Jett's kick is a good one. Edwards is going to take a chance with this one. Jim Swans down to make the tackle. He has become very, very valuable on special teams and in 3rd and long in the nickel defense.
Northwest corner of the end zone.
The Arizona Arizona Cardinals 3, Dallas nothing. Pat Summerall, John Madden. That's not us. We're the talkers.
Deion Sanders is still coaching. He's coaching Kevin Smith now.
He's not coaching from the upright position, though. Oh, me. And there's Alundis Bryce walking back to the locker room.
Wendell Davis is now playing that right corner.
And he's the last of their cornerbacks. Larry Centers, the ball carrier, gets good yardage straight ahead. There's Wendell Davis.
Yeah, and that's what they, the Cardinals have to think about, and I'm sure they're going to talk about at halftime, is they're going to have to change and reevaluate that whole offensive game plan and make a new one up for the second half.
Deion Sanders headed for the locker room also, and obvious pain.
Now, I don't think there's anything they're going to be able to do between now and the second half to get him in any form to play. And then his backup, Alundis Bryce, just injured his knee, so they're down to their last corner in Wendell Davis. And if there's any position you don't want to run out of in football, it's quarterback and cornerback.
Larry Centers, the ball carrier, gets enough, I believe, for an Arizona first down. Wendell Davis is a rookie from Oklahoma. He was the Cowboys' 6th round draft choice in last year's draft. There's Deion Sanders, and that looks like real pain.
Now they've taken both of their right corners into the locker room.
Back at Sun Devil Stadium, where the Cardinals lead Dallas 3-0. 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The Cardinals have the ball at their own 25. 1st and 10. Very similar to the first match between these two teams back at Texas Stadium. Score was 3-0 at the half of that one. Cowboys. Esiason is high. Frank Sanders, the intended receiver.
If that hadn't have been high, that would have been a big play.
Again, the Aflac trivia question. Remember this? How did Mean Joe Green get his nickname? John Madden said he knew. There's Joe Green. He attended North Texas State, where they were known as the Mean Green.
Yeah, that was the nickname of the team. So he was Joe Green from the Mean Green. So then he became Mean Joe Green from the Mean Green. Then he started playing. Joe Green wasn't really mean or dirty. He was just he was aggressive, and he was just a great player. He was tough. It wasn't a mean thing. He was a good man and a tough guy.
A very intimidating presence. Centers. Swans misses. Wendell Davis cut him down.
I was asking him yesterday. I said, when you played, why didn't they do all that tackle rotating the way they do now? They never took out Mean Joe Green or Ernie Holmes. They always left in there. So why didn't they take you out and give you a rest once in a while the way they do today's players?
Well, nobody had courage enough to say I'm taking you out.
I know, and I would have loved to have seen him go out. We would have done a little damage in there if we could have gotten him out of there.
Don't forget to stick with us at the half for the Dockers Khakis halftime with JB and Terry and all the scores and highlights from around the league coming up. A lot of surprises.
Yeah, how about those Redskins?
Yeah.
They looked like they were playing well. They were beaten on Thanksgiving Day, but they played the Cowboys well, had 10 days, and they go down to Tampa, and woo. And I know that, that one up in San Francisco, Carolina and San Francisco, the 49ers been worrying about this one for a long time because they've lost 2 out of 3 to Carolina at Carolina's place and at their place. So they knew that they could lose to Carolina.
That is a good team. 4 wide receivers. Cowboys have 4 men to rush. Boomer. Caught by Steve Anderson. This time he hangs on. Kevin Smith.
They're still working over there on Kevin Smith. I think that they're going to find out and make some adjustments, and I'll bet you they come out in the second half and throw a lot more to their left side.
You think because Boomer's left-handed, it's more difficult to throw this way?
No, it's easier to throw to his left side.
This one he just throws on the ground, trying to set up a screen pass. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, for a quarterback, a right-handed quarterback, it's more natural and easier to throw to your right. Left-handed quarterback, it's more natural and easier to throw to his left.
54 seconds left. Walt Coleman is the referee. Both teams have 2 timeouts left.
Jim Fossil's the offensive coordinator of the Cardinals, and they did have success going deep to Rob Moore up this left sideline.
Number 81, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
5 yards against Frank Sanders. Boomer's having trouble hearing from the Cardinal sideline. He's looking back into the sun.
Well, you know, he has a receiver in his helmet,
yeah.
And then what happens if he doesn't get the receiver, if that doesn't come through, then he has to look over to the sideline for a hand signal, which is the backup system.
And that's difficult for him to see. He's out of the spread formation this time. Cowboys again creep up into blitzing situation. Little game in the middle, and Boomer goes deep. Rob Moore defended well by Wendell Davis.
And that was a play that I was talking about that they got earlier, throwing over there to Rob Moore, just getting him out here. Here's where you have the rookie that you're working on, and just go deep up there. That's exactly what they did. But Wendell Davis does a good job.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't get any bump at all. He lets him have the position, and then he just runs with him. Look, he gets his hands up there right at the end. He looks up, he puts his hands up, you look up, and you put your hands up. But I'll tell you, that was a good call. That was the right idea by the Cardinals. That was the place to go. That is a very high percentage play for big success.
2nd and 15. They might go there again. Here's Boomer. Sidearms it to Anthony Edwards, the backup tight end, who is a fine receiver.
Now again, with the Cardinals have 2 timeouts left, so what they have to think here is they need about 10 more yards to get into field goal position, maybe 15 more yards.
3rd and 3. They have 2 timeouts left. Here's Boomer again. Gets the ball.
And he has his first down. Now he can take a timeout.
Frank Sanders was the Cardinal who made the reception.
And I watched the official, Pat, where he spotted the ball was enough for a first down for the Cardinals.
And now they have 1 timeout left. This is the Cardinal timeout coming up. Don't forget the Dockers Khakis halftime report and highlights from around the league.
There'll be some good highlights.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Maybe the end of this half will be a good highlight because, see, now Kevin Butler, if they had to kick a field goal right now, that would be a 52-yard field goal.
So max for him.
Yeah, that is max. I mean, I think that's on the long side. So I would say that they still need, I mean, if the Cardinals, if I were thinking for the Cardinals, I would think the first thing you want to do is get about 10 more yards. Then you can be comfortable with the field goal. Then after you get that 10 yards, then take your shot at the end zone. And if you don't get the touchdown, then kick the field goal. Because they're going to be able to run at least 2 more plays before they have to kick a field goal.
1st and 10. They have 1 timeout left. 17 seconds left. Cowboys coming in. Blitz. Pass caught by Moore. First down. He was knocked out of bounds by the defender. That's a fine catch. He got pushed out of bounds while he was in the air.
And you're going to see him right here. Now the ball is up. He gets knocked out of bounds while he's in the air, and that's what they rule. Now if both feet were to come down or 1 foot out of bounds, it would be out of bounds. But if he's in the air and gets knocked out, then that's a legal reception.
1st and 10 at the 11. They can make a first down without scoring, but they don't have enough time. 10 seconds left.
They have to take a shot at the end zone. Boomer Esiason has to throw this ball into the end zone.
Throws high. Rob Moore, the intended receiver. Davis back there with him. And here comes the field goal team.
Well, they found Wendell Davis at the end of this half. I mean, they knew First of all, they knew Deion Sanders wasn't playing, and then they found Alundis Bryce out there. Alundis Bryce injured his knee. They're going with the rookie Wendell Davis, and on that drive, that was the area that they tried to get their big plays.
I think the Dallas Cowboys should consider themselves to be very fortunate if they go to the locker room behind only 6-0 with all the injuries they've had.
And all the other problems they had.
But
they know they're in a fight here.
Kevin Butler's field goal is good, and the Cardinals will take a 6-0 lead to the locker room at the half. The Cowboys lose Leon Lett during the week, the long 10-day period. Now they lose Deion Sanders in the warm-up. Alundis Bryce gets hurt. Don't forget next Saturday, the Eagles and the Jets, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. The Eagles losing on Thursday night. They got to get themselves back together also.
Well,
Washington losing today.
Yeah, this whole Eastern Division has to. I mean, it's like one time it was the strongest division in all of football, and now it's like none of the top teams want to win. I mean, the Eagles, they looked terrible the other day against Indianapolis, or Indianapolis looked great against them. The Redskins go down and they get blown out by Tampa, and then the Cowboys, the way they're playing here, they're just not ready to play. I mean, the Cowboys, they won the Super Bowl a year ago. They're defending champions, and I feel you're champions until you get beaten, but they don't look like champions to me, or act like champions.
And look at the Cardinals. They would even their record at 7-7 if they beat the Cowboys today, and they'd be in the thick of the race, only a game behind.
Well, I think under Vince Tobin, in his job, that this is their Super Bowl right now.
Ball gets away from Herschel Walker, who just dives on it, and that should finish the first half.
I don't think so. I think there's 1 second left. They still have to have a play, because when he gets that ball, it's change of possession, and it's an automatic timeout.
Well, they started for the locker room.
Yeah, I know they all did.
And now they can. You're absolutely right. They're coming back.
Yeah, they have to have another play. I don't know that they all know the rules, but once he touches that ball, the clock stops. I think they're letting them go.
Yeah, they are.
They just run that off and said, okay.
So that's the end of the first half with the score. The Arizona Cardinals 6, the Dallas Cowboys 0. James Brown and Terry Bradshaw will be along with the Dockers Khakis halftime report following these messages.
James Brown, let's take you around the league and show you the scores and highlights. Cardinals, good defense, stifling the Cowboys right now, 6-0 at the half. Redskins lost to the Buccaneers for the 4th consecutive time. Tony Dungy has the Buccaneers playing.
Kerry Collins back looking for what? His favorite target. Wesley Walls back in the corner of the end zone. Payback time, 5 years for the 49ers, 1 with the Saints. This is 2nd game against the 49ers, his 3rd touchdown reception. Now back comes Steve Young. Terrell Owens on this 46-yard touchdown reception. Great effort by the rookie out of University of Chattanooga, Tennessee, Chattanooga. Back comes Kerry Collins. Down the sideline, great catch and touchdown by Willie Green. Tyrone Draper, the left corner for the 49ers, having a horrible first half, and there you have it, 24-14. Panthers totally controlling this game, JB.
And the Panthers were 10-point underdogs. So Green Bay wins the Central. San Francisco, of course, trying to get past Carolina, a big challenge right now. Washington is not helping itself at all in the wild card chase, but those are the 3 teams in the NFC right now in good position in the wild card race. Broncos lose big to the Packers, 41-6. Good game by Brett Favre. Jimmy Johnson projected a victory, did not happen. Bears still mathematically alive, 35-9. Falcons give June Jones 3rd victory of the season. Steelers 16-3. They win the AFC Central. Houston Oilers lose to the Jaguars 23-17. Bengals bounce back to up in the Ravens by a touchdown. And the Seahawks on top of the Buffalo Bills, that in the 2nd quarter. Patriots in the 2nd as well by 14 over the Jets. So Denver, we already know they've clinched home field. Pittsburgh has won the AFC Central by virtue of their victory and a Houston loss, and those are the 3 teams in the wild card chase right now. We have got more highlights coming your way when this guy will do an awful lot more talking. Thankfully so. Back in a bit.
Cardinals lead the Dallas Cowboys 6-0. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The team's just beginning to come back on the field. Bright, sunny, and very warm. And let's have a look at the halftime statistics as the teams come back.
Yeah, I think the big thing that you see is that the Cardinals have really outgained, you know, both rushing and passing. They've outgained the Cowboys, but they just haven't been able to get, other than those two field goals, they haven't been able to score. And neither team has really been successful on third down, and that's the thing. And they seem to be able to move the ball, and then the defenses tighten or the offenses tighten themselves, and they're not getting first downs.
The Cardinals have 15 first downs in the first half, but they can't get one. This is before the game. Deion Sanders just went down with a back spasm in the pregame warm-up. There he is going into the locker room after that spasm.
And then here's Alundis Bryce, who took his place, number 29. Larry Centers hits him on an interception play. They take him off, and so he was the backup or the second string corner, and now they're playing the rookie Wendell Davis out there. So I'm sure that the Cardinals went in, and that's the thing that they talked about at the halftime. I would think that they would direct most of their passing to the left side.
Wouldn't you think so?
And the other thing is, if you look at those halftime stats, that the Cowboy defense has been out there a lot more. The Arizona offense has had a lot more plays. They had 38 plays, and the Cowboys had 26 plays. So that means that it seems like the Cowboy defense has been on the field a long time. And I had the feeling towards the end of the half that defense, and we know they had the injuries, but I had the feeling that they were starting to wear down.
Boomer Esiason did not have what you'd call a hot first half, but it was effective enough to get the Cardinals 2 field goals.
Well, the thing is he was 9 out of 11 right here in this 10-yard box. In other words, from the line of scrimmage to 10 yards deep. This is his hit chart here. The only ones that he missed, of course, being those two, and that's Boomer's game. I mean, you know, that short type of game, and then get you to come up and then play in that 10-yard box, and then he goes after you deep, which he did a couple times, and one big one right at the end of the first half.
Which led to their second field goal. There's Chad Hennings. He spent a lot of time on the field, but
isn't that amazing, that left elbow, that he's going to have surgery on that elbow after the season. He can't move it down any more than you just saw there, and he can only move it up about 5 inches.
Kevin Butler, the kickoff sails down to Kevin Williams. And he's got some room. Got to beat Butler, and Butler took him out of bounds at midfield, or close to it. Kevin Butler, who kicked it off. Kevin Williams, who brought it back 39 yards.
And Kevin Butler had to make that play. Look, here's the wedge. The first thing you want to do is get into your wedge and then break there. Then now once you get out here, you get a good double team right there. Get the sideline. The only guy left is the kicker, Kevin Butler, and he should never make a play on you. But Kevin Butler did a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't stand up. He didn't try and grab. He just went out and took his knees out from under him.
1st and 10 at midfield for Dallas. And Aikman back to throw. Drops it out to Emmitt Smith. Just got a yard.
See, if they're gonna play offense, they have to get some wide receivers open, and you know, because that's not where Troy Aikman wanted to go. He was trying to go over here to Kevin Williams on the right side here, and the Cardinals had good coverage. So anytime you see him throw short like that to Emmitt Smith, he doesn't want to do that. That's a has to. That's a has to dump off.
Brings up 2nd and long. Aikman gives to Smith, and Smith is tackled for a loss. Behind the line by Eric Swan.
Yeah, we talked about the good players, Eric Swan being one of them. And again, if you're going to run, you have to stop this penetration. And Eric Swan not only gets into the backfield, I mean not only gets penetration, but he gets about 5 yards of penetration.
Beat Larry Allen.
I know, and that's just staying with the block. Larry Allen has the good fire out but Eric Swan is darn near impossible to stay with if he doesn't want you to stay with him.
3rd and 13, 3 wide receivers. Aikman into the pocket. That's Eric Bjornsson will not get the first down. Got about 8, a couple short. Tito Paul knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's frustrating with Troy Aikman is not having his tight end. That's the first one he threw to Eric Bjornsson, but I think that, you know, over the years, Jay Novacek has always been his security blanket and the guy that he would go to when he couldn't get to the outside guys, and he probably misses Jay Novacek as much as he misses anything on this team.
And Novacek would slip and slide in there for a first down on most occasions. Jet back high and hanging. Handle. Cowboys overran it. The first wave of coverage went by Randall Godfrey. This was Anthony Edwards who brought it back. Jim Swant's down again to help out and make the tackle. 6-0. Sellout crowd at Sun Devil Stadium for the Cardinals, leading the Cowboys 6-0. 1st and 10, Arizona at their own 16. Broke it for a second. Got good yardage.
You know, they're starting to get to that middle now. You're going to see McElroy here just get the blocks there. You see they get with their tackles. They knock down the linebacker, and the first guy there that could make a hit was Darren Woodson. Now watch what they do to Tony Casillas. They start off by doubling him. You see they get that double. You get that thing pushing back. Then you knock down the linebacker. Then the only guy left, or the first guy left, is the safety, and you've gained 8 or 9 yards.
2nd and 1. Esiason will throw. Chase and cut down by Tony Tolbert.
There's an amazing guy that he's even playing, Tony Tolbert. Hardly practices, has arthritis in both knees, but he can still do this. If you can get him flushed, he'll be out there. You see him out there, he's coming underneath, but he keeps fighting, and then right at the end, watch that dive that he makes that just gets the left ankle of Boomer Esiason. That's a heck of an effort.
He has almost no cartilage in either knee.
And watch that extension right there just to get that ankle.
There was a flag that was dropped back behind the line of scrimmage. They picked it up, and no violation. Now the Cowboys make their mass substitutions. Swans comes in. Harbor comes in.
Yeah, this is their nickel. Remember, it used to be 46 Bates, and now Bates isn't in there. It's Schwantz in there for Bates.
3 wide receivers for Arizona. Esiason was hurried by Hennings and had to get rid of it.
Yeah, see, that was a big play by Tony Tolbert because by getting that sack, then that put the Cardinals in 3rd and long, and they have a tough time getting a first down because remember, the 2nd down play where Tony Tolbert threw for a loss was like 2nd and 1.
2nd and 1, yeah.
So then Tony Tolbert, you know, created a long yardage situation, and then they could play nickel and just tee off on him.
So Jeff Fiegels will punt now for Arizona.
Punting out of the shade into the sun. Does that mean anything?
Kelvin Martin back deep. We'll see. He is looking right into the sun. Still got the ball. And he gets a return of 2 or 3 yards. That's a good kick and good coverage. Wesley Lisi down to make the stop. 6-0. Arizona lead.
Yeah, we were talking about looking up into the sun. Look what the punt returner has to do. He has his eyes down, and Kelvin Martin, then he looks up, and this is what he's looking into. And I'll tell you, that is tough.
You got to lose it when it comes down through that brightest light.
Yeah, and it comes out of the shade. I mean, the ball was punted out of the shade, so you watch it come out of the shade. Then when you look up, you're looking right up into the sun.
Here's Emmitt Smith. Got some room this time, and Emmitt Gets near first down yardage, stopped by Matt Darby.
Yeah, here's what the Cowboys' problem is, Pat. I think is just not being able to knit anything together. I mean, you see they have 8 plays, 28 yards and punt. Then they fumble. Then they have 6-3. And they have to punt. They can get plays, but they just can't knit them together to get in the end zone for a touchdown.
Emmett got first down. He gets the carry again. Can't get around the corner, and he's out of bounds after a yard by Enos Williams.
I tell you, this Cardinal defense is getting after him too. I mean, they're getting after him. They're controlling that offensive line. I mean, I think that you always think the Dallas offensive line controls, but right here, these guys today are controlling this line of scrimmage, and they're not allowing anything there. So they're making Emmitt Smith have to bounce out. You see the control? They have every gap along the way controlled. So Emmitt Smith had a bounce outside. Then he just ran right out of bounds.
That's their defense, control those gaps. Aikman. Irvin. Flag on the play. There's a penalty marker down as Irvin is down at the 2.
And Aeneas Williams was on him man-to-man, and Aeneas Williams fell down.
A flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Troy Aikman saw that, and he went right to him. That's the guy to go to. Your go-to guy when the defensive guy on him falls down.
Holding against Arizona.
What you're going to see, here's Aeneas Williams out here. Here's Michael Irvin.
Penalties decline.
Right here. Now the holding was right there on Aeneas Williams. And you see he went down to one knee, and as he went down to one knee, Michael Irvin ran right by him. Aeneas Williams was recovering. He didn't even see that pass. I'll tell you, Troy Aikman had good pass protection, and he did see it. That happens a lot in football, but the quarterback doesn't always see it.
3 tight ends, first and goal at the 1. Not in. Emmett was down before that last surge. At about the half-yard line.
I think they'll keep Emmitt Smith in now. Remember the last short yardage, Pat, they had Sherman Williams in there, and I don't think they're going to do that anymore. I think that you keep Emmitt Smith in there, and you either hand him the ball or you fake to him. But I think on any short yardage or goal line, unless there's an injury, you don't have him out of there.
And I think you hand it to him again.
And that's probably what, with this guy right here leading, is probably what you do. Just follow him. That's where the ball's going.
He doesn't get in yet. Fighting and scrambling. He lost the ball on top of the pile.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
And the Cardinals have it. The referee has already signaled. Emmitt Smith is saying, I was just trying to get into the end zone.
And he wasn't. He was moving the ball, and they knocked the ball right out of his hands as he was doing that. He was trying to break the plane with the ball, and he put the ball out there to break the plane, and they knocked it out of there.
Emmett is hot about this one. He was on top of the pile, trying to break that plane, as John said. Watch this.
We see he goes in, and the ball was loose. The ball started to come out, but here's where it's knocked out. He got it back, and he's trying to reach it to break the plane. And as he's doing that, it was Seth Joyner, I think. Seth Joyner, number 59, comes over, and as Emmitt Smith was trying to break the plane with it, Seth Joyner just knocked the ball right out of his hands. Now the key is, had the whistle blown before Seth Joyner did that? If the whistle didn't blow, then of course it's a Cardinals ball.
And they have it. It's the Cardinals ball. This is McElroy. Over the right side. Nothing doing. Listen for a whistle. I'm not sure.
Yeah, again, it's good defense anyway, because the Cardinals control the line of scrimmage. See, now, do you hear a whistle?
I didn't.
But you didn't hear it when it blew either,
no.
So that doesn't mean anything. Because when the officials started to go like that, he was blowing the whistle, so you couldn't hear it. But, again, Seth Joyner was the guy that knocked the ball out as Emmitt Smith was trying to make it cross the goal line.
And Darby made the recovery, and the Cardinals took over. Larry centers, picked up perhaps 3 to the left side. A little bit of room. Shante Carver
And again, Emmitt Smith is still upset about that. You know, just fighting for the ball. Again, fighting for the touchdown because he almost fumbled the ball first.
Yep.
Then he was just trying to stretch it because it's where the ball is when your knee is down. So if the ball breaks the plane of the goal line, it's a touchdown. So he was figuring his knee wasn't down yet, and he was trying to stretch the ball to break the plane when Seth Joyner knocked it out.
It's miraculous that he got it back in the first place. Here's Boomer. Going deep. Flag on the play. Pass is incomplete, but a penalty marker down. Wendell Davis covering Rob Moore.
I think the Cardinals have found what they wanted. We've been talking about that they're going to throw the inside. They're going to throw their short, the check down. Then when they go deep, they're going to work their left side and work against Wendell Davis. There it is, Rob Moore against Wendell Davis. You see the hand there? Again, you can't touch him after 5 yards, and you can't touch him when the ball is in the air.
And here comes Deion Sanders.
Now, this is interesting. I mean, just 5 minutes ago, Deion Sanders couldn't even walk, couldn't even stand up straight, but he knows and they know that they're behind. They need something. They're going to work in this area.
This is McElroy. Around the corner and up the sideline is McElroy. He lost the ball. Came loose from McElroy and
still on the ground. Still on the ground.
Cowboys got it back. McElroy with a good run, good yardage, but a fumble at the end of it.
This is unbelievable. McElroy fumbles at the end. We just saw on the other end, Emmitt Smith fumbled at the end. The ball is knocked out of there. Deion Sanders' back is bothering so much he couldn't even bend over to get the ball. It was the third guy in. I think it was Darren Woodson. Who does come up with it, but he was the third guy in.
Look, he can't run.
Yeah, but he's on the other side of the field. He's just coming across the field. He can't run. He can't bend over to get the ball. He was first in, and then there was another one in, and then the third one in was Darren Woodson.
I think he made the recovery finally, Deion Sanders.
Deion did?
I think
and
so.
He was the fourth guy because he was first in. Darren Smith was second in. Darren Woodson was third in, and then maybe it went back to the first guy in.
It did. Cowboys take over, avoid disaster. And Aikman goes back to throw. Caught on the comeback by Michael Irvin. Let's go back and look at that last play again, the fumble recovery.
Again, I was saying, there's Deion. He's the first guy in there.
He can't.
And then the second guy is Darren Smith. He's gonna be right in there. Then it looked to me like Darren Woodson got it there, but maybe just before Darren Woodson got there, I think Deion Sanders did grab it.
Yes, he did. That'll loosen you up, and he still can't run.
And that's the only play that he's been in this whole game.
Second and 1. This is Emmitt Smith for the first down. Seth Joyner made a stop. There's Chad Hennings getting retaped on the sideline. They can't afford to get anybody else hurt, can they?
No, they don't have much of a middle. Of course, in the offseason, they lost Russell Maryland. He went to the Oakland Raiders, and then Leon Lett was suspended for a year. And now they have Tony Casillas playing there with Chad Hennings.
Ray Childress backing up along with Herman McCormick.
And that's not a strong foursome there.
No. That's Emmitt Smith, no gain. Right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, San Francisco trying to battle back against these tough Panthers. Up top, Young goes to Terry Kirby, 53 yards. That sets up a Jeff Wilkins field goal, 27-17. Panthers back to Pat and John.
6-0 at Sun Devil Stadium, the Cardinals. Now they're taping up Tony Tolbert.
Now, Tony Tolbert, we talked about his bad knees. They're just working on one of his bad knees, but they're always doing that.
Flag on the play. Somebody jumped. Cardinals were faking a blitz or showing a blitz, and I'm not sure who jumped.
Sometimes a sense of urgency brings about sloppy play.
Yep.
I mean, I think the intensity here, I think everyone is trying. I think they know the consequences of this game. Vince Tobin knows if they don't win this one, they're probably out. Barry Switzer knows that he has to get his team doing some positive things. And you get the feeling that both these teams sometimes are trying too hard. Not that they're not trying.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Called against Arizona. 2nd and 5. Tony Tolbert. Knees, as John said a minute ago, both of them operated on in the off-season, and he's getting a massage. He wears a brace on both of them.
Talking on the telephone, sitting next to a garbage can. You can't beat that.
Doing a lot of things at once. 2nd and 5. That's Herschel Walker in motion. That's Michael Irvin, and he's going to score. Michael Irvin into the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas. From Aikman. From 50 yards out.
Listen to this crowd. I think there's as many Cowboy fans here today as there are Arizona Cardinal fans here.
I think you're right. They were all over the hotel we stayed in last night.
But like I've said, if Michael Irvin is a playmaker, if his nickname is Playmaker, and he really is the playmaker, he has to make these kind of plays in these kind of games. And they haven't been doing that. Look at that. That's only the 5th touchdown that a Dallas Cowboy wide receiver has scored all year. And that's the 2nd lowest in the NFL. The only one that has fewer is Tampa Bay.
Boniol to put Dallas ahead. The extra point is good, and the Cowboys are up by 1. Washington lost earlier. Philadelphia lost on Thursday. The Cowboys could take over the NFC East.
Watch this. Here's Michael Irvin here. Here's Aeneas Williams here. Now, this is only a 10-yard pass, but the rest of it is Michael Irvin because Aeneas Williams misses a tackle. Brent Alexander comes in right there. That's just poor tackling. I mean, they have two guys. First of all, a guy might beat you, but you can't miss the tackle. And the guy that had to make that play was the free safety, Brent Alexander, and he just came across and missed the tackle. But Michael Irvin has had a big day with his rack running after the catch today.
6 catches. McElroy takes Boniol's kickoff. And they swarm on it finally. Herschel Walker. There's Irvin being massaged.
He has 6 catches, 168 yards. But look at this. 104 of it is a run after the catch. Good running by Michael Irvin and some poor tackling by the Cardinals.
Dallas 7, Arizona 6. 7-6 the Cowboys.
You know what that rock's called, Pat? That's called people rock.
It is?
You know, we've seen rocks for, seal rock, bird rock.
That should be person rock.
Yeah, person.
Only one up there.
Person rock.
Here's McElroy. And he gets about 5 or 6. Play they ran so successfully a minute ago, and he fumbled at the end of it.
This has been a strange kind of game where, McElroy makes a big run and he fumbles at the end of it. And just before that, Emmitt Smith had fumbled at the end of it. And
2nd and 6. McElroy got 4 on that first carry. Boomer Esiason looking over the defense. Childress is playing. And Esiason goes down. Lobs a hook shot to McElroy for a loss of yardage.
It's interesting that Deion Sanders is back in there. Watch his pass rush here, but Deion Sanders is back in trying to play again. And if I were Boomer Esiason, I would look that way. Boomer Esiason gets the blitz by Darren Smith, and he tried to straight arm him. In fact, he does straight arm. Watch, he straight arms him with his right, and then just kind of hook shots that thing off with his left. I don't know that Darren Smith made him hook shot, made him do it, or if that was really a hook shot.
Deion Sanders, man-to-man, split wide to the left, the Cardinals left. See, Boomer looks that way. Deion trying to run with him. Man open.
I would throw on Deion. I would check him out. I mean, I think that, they probably think that just by putting him out there, that they're not going to go to him. But I think if you would work that a little harder, Anthony Edwards is working him here, but I think if you worked him on an out or an in or something, I think there's no way that he can make any turn.
He does look as if he's loosened up a little bit. Earlier, he looked like he would never play again.
Well, part of that is, I would guess, a miracle of modern medicine.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's some. I mean, they have medical doctors down there to do things, and I'm sure there's something there.
Here's Boomer,
And they are working on Dion.
incomplete. He's hopping around on one leg.
Because it is amazing. I mean, just a minute ago, he can hardly walk. He can hardly walk now. But here he is in tight coverage. I mean, he's up there man-to-man against Rob Moore. Rob Moore should just explode right through him. He gets a little push off him there, and the ball was thrown out of bounds, but Rob Moore didn't leave himself anything, and Dion didn't give him anything to that side.
He is still in pain, but playing. Handoff is to Centers, who breaks away from one tackler, but not all of them. A loss of a yard, brought down by Darren Smith and Tony Tolbert.
Darren Smith is starting to come up big now. He was a guy that blitzed and made Boomer throw that ball away earlier. He's a guy that made this play for no gain. He's a guy that can make plays. I mean, because he has good speed, and so he's a good blitzer. He's a good cover guy. He's just a good, solid linebacker.
3rd and 10. 4 wide receiver set up. Boomer signals and drops back in the spread. He has time. Pass is high, coming right out of the sunlight. It's intended for Anderson. Incomplete, and the Cardinals will have to punt.
Yeah, he had that one. He threw that one high, and he had one over on this side that he threw out of bounds. But I think that was Rob Moore's fault. But there is some things there because they're getting pretty good pass protection now, and with this secondary, both injured and kind of a patchwork type of thing, the Cardinals can do something.
Jeff Eagles back to punt to Kelvin Martin. He'll look at that sun again. Lets the ball bounce. It takes a Cardinal bounce, and they're going to down it at the 4-yard line. Bounce sideways, and the Cardinals batted it backwards and downed it. Deep in their own territory, the Cowboys will take over. They lead by a point with 2:18 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Back at Sun Devil Stadium, look at this play by Bennett.
That is a heck of a play by knocking that ball out of the end zone before he puts his foot on the end zone line.
So the Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 3.5.
Yeah, so that was really by Tommy Bennett there. That was really a 17-yard play.
2 tight ends. Here's Emmett Smith bouncing outside the 5. Jerry Drake up to make the stop. Number 76.
The one thing that's interesting is this Cardinal defense is a gap control. And the Cowboys are kind of blocking it like a man thing, and then they get on their man, they get them blocked, and then the defensive lineman escapes into the gap.
And this is something new for them this year. The Cardinals.
Yeah, that's Vince Tobin's defense, and
here's Aikman back in the end zone, just does get it out of there. Intended for Michael Irvin, but the Cardinals had the blitz coming, and Aikman's down in the end zone.
and that's the thing that Troy Aikman can do. I mean, he's so big and strong that he can throw the ball with a rush around him, and he just throws that. Now, he wasn't able to step up, and he really took a hit by Seth Joyner after he threw the ball, or maybe as he was throwing the ball. But that's what he wants to do now, is get the ball to Michael Irvin, let Michael Irvin to break a tackle, and then that's the way the Cowboys are getting big plays in this game. But it's a little dangerous down here, especially on 3rd and long.
Yep. A minute 38 left in the 3rd quarter. They go 3 wide receivers. They're showing safety blitz this time.
They're going to blitz both those safeties.
He has good time. Gets it to Irvin. Juggles. Incomplete. Kevin Williams couldn't hang on.
And that's the danger of it. Troy Aikman knows that. Once he sees the blitz, he knows that out here he's going to have man-to-man. Now, anytime he gets man-to-man, he's automatically going to go to that outside receiver. He throws it, a perfect pass to Kevin Williams. He just didn't have control of it. But that's the thing. When he sees those safeties coming up, then Troy Aikman knows that he's going to have man-to-man. He sees the corner off, and he knows right then he's going to go to Kevin Williams.
John Jett standing back right at the back of the end zone. He's got to be careful not to step on the end of the end zone. Cardinals are coming. Jett just does get it out. Anthony Edwards lets it go over his head. And the Cowboys down it. Way back at their own 38-yard line. A good kick by Jett. Good coverage. Why he didn't field it, I don't know. Cardinals will take over. 1st and 10 next Sunday. The NFL on Fox brings you the 49ers at the Steelers. John Madden and I'll be there. The Saints, Giants, Packers, Lions, Rams, Falcons, Bucks, Vikings. Those last two teams, the Bucks, Vikings, both playing very well. These Cardinals go to, or the Redskins rather, come here in the late game next week.
Steelers won today. 49ers are in a heck of a fight with the Carolina Panthers for a lot of things.
Center. 2 or 3. Randall Godfrey stopped him.
Yeah, we look at the last series and we thought that they should have gone to work on Deion Sanders, and these are the last 3 plays.
He's looking better.
And he really did, but I don't think that they really ran any patterns on him. I mean, I think when you have someone like that, if he's having trouble, he's going to have trouble turning. So you have to make him turn by running ins on him.
2nd and 7. Centers moves in motion. The pitch is back to McElroy. And he is cut down by Broderick Thomas.
See, against
Chad
Deion
Hennings. Excuse me.
No, I was just going to say, against Deion Sanders, you can never throw a fade or an up anyway. And the things that you can throw are ins and crosses, and so they have to make a move. He's standing out here right now. He doesn't even get in the huddle. I mean, he's just standing out here. He can't even straighten up. I mean, you watch him out here, he is really in pain. And so what I think the Cardinals should think, one, is to throw at him, but throw at him the patterns that you have to make him make moves.
Hennings had to go out after the last play, and Childress has replaced him. So it's Childress and Casillas in the middle of the Cowboy defense. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score Dallas 7, the Arizona Cardinals 6. Now this is not staged or anything. This is happening live, and those are live guns.
Yeah, and these are live policemen up here, and this is the suspect down there. It was the guy that, remember when we looked at the rock and said it was a people rock?
Yeah.
That guy was sitting on the end of the rock. And now the police, that's the 2nd one that they've arrested down there.
And there's another one that had his hands up a minute ago. I don't know. 3rd and 6, we got all kind of things going on.
Well, we're just watching the game, and lo and behold, stuff's happening right outside.
Here's Boomer Esiason, gets it outside the centers. Centers to midfield, and a Cardinal 1st down. Shante Carver tripped him up finally.
Yeah, that Deion Sanders is wearing that thing around his neck, and we saw just before that, it says number 78 on there. He has Leon Lett's number on there, and he has Leon Lett's number on his wrist there, and I think that that'll probably bring a fine from the National Football League. I mean, that's not the thing. You know that you want to support your teammates and all that, but at some point you have to make an example too. I mean, this is a league where you don't do drugs and play in this league.
Leland McElroy stopped by Chad Hennings, who's back, along with Shante Carver. Shante, of course, played collegiately here.
And Shante was also one that had been suspended for drugs this year. I mean, at some point the Cowboys are going to have to look at that, and and then they can say, well, society and this and that, but at some point they seem to have more and more problems than anyone else.
Well, they do.
And if they're going to be a championship team on and off the field, that's going to have to be addressed.
Pass is complete to Cedric Smith, who picked up a couple of yards. They'll bring up 3rd and short, 3rd and about 2 or 3.
You know, one thing about Boomer Esiason, he really spreads the ball around. I mean, he doesn't just lock into one guy. Remember all his great years at Cincinnati? He would throw to his left, he'd throw to his right, he'd throw to his wide receivers, his tight ends, backs out of the backfield, put a guy in, a substitute, he'd throw to him. He always spread the ball around.
3rd and 3. Here's Boomer. Boy deep, and he's got a man. That's going to be out of bounds. Rob Moore out of bounds. Let's have another look at the coverage.
Yeah, but Rob Moore, I think if you see him here, because he goes right by Deion Sanders. There's no one out there. Darren Woodson has to pick him up. He's behind Darren Woodson. Boomer Esiason throws the ball a little short, and he throws it out of bounds. But he was wide open.
Yes,
but Rob Moore, anytime you're running it up like that, you have to give your quarterback room. You have to be at least 5 yards from the sideline. You can't run right up against the sideline, because then he can't throw it over your outside shoulder.
Eagles punt. Heading toward the end zone. The Cardinals can't down it. It goes into the end zone. And they'll bring it back to the 20. We're in the 4th quarter with 12:57 left. And the Dallas Cowboys lead by a point. Cowboys 7. The Cardinals 6. 12:57 left to play. Aikman. First down.
Yeah, that's that timing pass, that rhythm pass, and Michael Irvin just runs that slant from the left side. Usually he lines up at flanker, but he's been lining up at split end or X a lot today. You know, that's the side where he's up on the line of scrimmage. Again, Aeneas Williams is on him, but he just beat Aeneas Williams on that play right on the line of scrimmage, got inside him, and Troy Aikman hit him perfectly. They are throwing to their wide receivers today. 10 out of 16 for 210 yards.
Herschel Walker split wide to the left this time. And Aikman gets it out to Darryl Johnston. And it's incomplete. Got it on the bounce. The Moose did. Even here, you can hear the Moose.
Yeah, but I bet if you had roll call, whether you're a Cardinal fan or a Cowboy fan in this stadium, I bet you the Cowboys would have as many or more fans.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Did that hit the ground?
It did hit the ground, but he had control.
Yeah, I mean, that looked pretty good there in slow motion. I mean, Moose does a pretty good job. It's a poor throw by Troy Aikman. I don't know. I mean, I think you could stick a credit card underneath that ball.
Yours, maybe.
Because mine's skinny, you mean?
No, yours is thick. Emmitt Smith, the ball carrier.
Yeah, but if you could fit mine under there, then it was really a bad call.
3rd down is going to be about 6, 7 maybe. There's Joe Brodsky in the middle. Ernie Zampese to his right.
You know, Joe Brodsky has had a lot to say this week about the Leon Lett suspension and about the team, and you know, and he was saying it's true. You know, we've been family, we've been tighter, and we're not. I mean, the Cowboys are kind of running loose and running in too many different directions.
Aikman throws back to Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt does not get the first down. The Cardinals had everybody up in blitzing position.
Yeah, that's when you have to be able to throw the ball. I know that when you get on 3rd down, you have to be able to throw the ball. You see, there's the blitzers, but look at Eric Swan. I mean, there is a heck of a play. Did you see him? I mean, he's a nose tackle. He saw that run, and he just flattened out and went boom, right down the line of scrimmage.
Emmitt looks like he might be limping just a bit.
Well, that ankle, he's always going to limp on that ankle. That ankle is not going to get better until the offseason. He has a full offseason. Maybe surgery, maybe not, but it's not going to get better at the end of this year.
Yeah, back to punt. This is not his best. It's a sideways bounce. And out of bounds, the Cardinals will take over at their own 26. There's Emmitt Smith over on the sideline saying, yeah, maybe it bothers me a little bit, but I'll be back. The MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2 is providing a bird's eye view of the football game and what other action that's taking place around here, including a couple of drawn guns and arrests and handcuffs and all that going on.
That's why they call that blimp Snoopy.
Yeah.
Snoopy hasn't missed a thing going on in or around this stadium.
Cardinals, 1st and 10. Cowboys showing blitz. Somebody moved. Irvin McCormick, I think, jumped across, but if somebody pulled him, false start.
Prior to the snap,
Yep.
offense number 75, 5-yard penalty.
Maybe it was Shante
still first
Carter.
down.
But it was Lomas Brown.
Yeah, there was Lomas Brown moved. There's a detective right there, watching everything. Just watching everything, watching down there, watching stuff going on in the field. Watch Lomas Brown just jumped offside. Watching the rock, we're having a rest.
1st and 15, and Boomer goes on that quick count again. And the pass is picked off. Darren Woodson laterals to Deion Sanders, and that's the wrong guy
Of all the guys to lateral to, could you believe that? I mean, Darren Woodson, he should have just gotten that ball when he intercepted and just kept it himself. Where in the heck that stuff came from? Here's Deion Sanders here. This is the type of thing that I thought they should have done, but you have to keep running the pattern.
Yep.
Darren Woodson just came in there. He had the inside or slant, and he just took it, Boomer Esiason threw it right to him.
You don't have time to think about who you give it to, but Sanders.
But Frank Sanders has to work. He has to keep working here. Here's Darren Woodson right here. Frank Sanders stopped working. I mean, he has to go. He's a big, strong guy. He has to go, boom, right now he has to get inside of Deion Sanders. He can't let Deion Sanders hold him off like that. Deion Sanders helped that interception that Darren Woodson got.
1st down, Emmitt Smith. A yard down to the 20. The Cowboys leading 7-6. They're in Chris Boniol's field goal range already. 2nd and 6.
And Boomer Esiason is looking at that. He knows Darren Woodson is the safety who was sitting inside there, and probably knowing that Deion Sanders couldn't run with an in or a cross and was going to help him on it. But Deion held Sanders up long enough, and Sanders just waited there, and then Boomer shouldn't have thrown the ball either.
Sherman Williams is the deep back behind Aikman. And he gets the carry. Sherman stopped by Lassiter, but down across the 15 near a 1st down. It'll be 3rd and short.
What the Cowboys want to do is take some time off this clock. They want to get a 1st down here, take some time off this clock, score a touchdown. Kind of in that order.
3rd, about a yard. Clock running, 9:20 left to play.
This is where you would like to have Emmitt Smith in here, your short yardage runner.
2 tight ends. It's Sherman Williams. Daryl Jennison gets the carry, and he got enough for the 1st down with the initial surge. He did get the 1st down. He was knocked backwards by Eric Hill, but he got the 1st down.
And Eric Hill's having a heck of a day today in there. He's taking care of that run. Moose Johnson is going to get right in here behind Nate Newton, but here's Eric Hill. He's going to hit it too because he's keying Moose Johnson. Eric Hill is keying Moose Johnson. So watch, when Moose moves, Eric Hill is going to move, and he's going to hit him right there. But Moose Johnston already had the 1st down, or they're measuring for it. It looked like he had the 1st down.
I may have been too early. He didn't have
the first down. Eric Hill won that battle then.
Let's see how the mark again.
This is the old left foot, right foot. You know, which foot's he going to put down? See, he just puts that foot down right there, and that's where the ball is. I mean, he runs 25 yards and puts his foot down, and that's it. If he would have just kind of wobbled a little more, it would have been a 1st down.
The initial surge looked as if the Moose had it, but the mark said he didn't.
And that was a big play by Eric Hill, because the Cowboys are going to have to get in field goal deal here. That doesn't mean they'll run a field goal. You know, they still could fake. This wouldn't be a bad situation to fake a field goal either.
Boniol back with Jet Holden. And Boniol is right down the middle.
And again, that tackle by Eric Hill was a 4-point tackle.
31-yard field goal by Chris Boniol, and the Cowboys lead 10-6.
So it's just kind of been a lot of turnovers, a lot of funny things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, here's Emmitt Smith trying to get the ball. The ball's knocked out. The Cardinals get the ball. McElroy's running. The ball's knocked out of his hand. Boomer Esiason looks, throws one right to Darren Woodson. The whole game has kind of been a heck of a lot of miscues on both sides, but I think played well and hard.
McElroy will start from about the 6-yard line. And gets up to the 30. Right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
One of the reasons for Carolina's mastery over the 49ers, this combination here. Kerry Collins to Willie Green. Willie Green, 4 catches, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. It led to a field goal. They're winning it by 13. Let's take it back to Pat and John.
Back at Sun Devil Stadium. 10-6.
Holding
Cowboys
on the
leading.
return team, number 52. 10-yard penalty, first down.
There was a flag on the kickoff returned by Wesley Lisi for holding, so the Cardinals will back up to the 20, and they'll start from there.
Yeah, we were showing all those miscues, and I'm sure that's what Vince Tobin's thinking. Dallas 10 points. They've come off turnovers.
Here's Boomer to McElroy. And he gets a couple of yards. See what the Cardinals have done the last 5 times they've had the ball. Not too well. 2 interceptions, 3 punts. That won't win many.
Well, and they could get some things going. Again, it's just like, you know, the Cowboys having the same problem. Is just knitting those things together and keeping them going. I mean, they get, you know, they get a play and they get 8 or 9 yards, and then there'll be a penalty, or they'll get a sack or something like that they can't get into a rhythm and a sync.
2nd and 6. McElroy again. Stopped by Hennings. Tolbert.
Yeah, we were talking about Chad Hennings' elbow, and you see he has that brace on there, but he was showing, you know, he can't use that left arm at all, and you see the way it's bent there. It kind of stays bent that much. He can't straighten it out any more than that. And then lifting it up, he can only lift it up, I don't know, about 10 degrees or so. So he's kind of a one-arm guy, just playing right-handed mostly.
4 wide receivers set up. 7:15, 7:14 now left, and Esiason waves. The Cowboys sneak up. They can't get back. Flag on the play. Ball's loose, but the flag blew, the whistle blew before the play ever got underway.
Well, Boomer Esiason knew he had a free one then, because this is going to be against the Cowboys. That was a free play for the offense of the Cardinals. Hey, this is a tough day for the corners.
Smith.
Oh, this is Kevin.
Number 96, 5-yard penalty.
He's asking for help.
Yeah. Here he is right here, and you'll just see what happens. He just goes to make a turn there and get a jam, and I don't know that anything happened there until right at the end when he made that twist and that turn inside. Remember, he had the Achilles surgery a year ago.
They go right to work. To Frank Sanders, incomplete. Wendell Davis had replaced Kevin Smith. Deion Sanders playing with those back spasms on the other side. The rookie Wendell Davis is number 35.
One thing you have to say about the Cardinals, they're trying. I mean, they see it. They know there's a rookie out there. They know that someone gets hurt. Boomer's just a little short on some of these things because they have him. That one wasn't Frank Sanders. Frank Sanders had a step. Boomer just needed a little more oomph on that thing, and that would have been a completion because Wendell Davis was beaten.
Larry Centers, a flag on the play. Centers was down there for a gain of maybe 2 yards.
Chad Hennings knocked Larry Centers sideways. I mean, Chad Hennings is probably the strongest guy, you know, when you lift weights on this team. And he came in there and he hit Larry Centers and he knocked him back where he came from.
And that's all the way back to Texas.
We have a personal foul, illegal crackback on the offense, number 83. 15-yard penalty, still second down.
Illegal block by Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards is a wide receiver. Now, Now what you crack back, the wide receiver can come in and block, but he can't come in and block below the waist.
Right.
Or of course we can't come in and block from behind either. That old deal, if you can read his name, you can't block him. And the other thing, if you block below the waist, that's an illegal crack. And you're going to see it right there.
Yeah.
See it? It's just below the waist. He came in and got Kevin Smith on that play.
That was Roger Harper. Kevin Smith just came back. And now Esiason steps up, comes out of the pocket. He might have been over the line of scrimmage. However, he's not. And the pass is complete to Frank Sanders all the way up to midfield and past that.
That's the old Boomer Esiason. Remember the Cincinnati Bengal Boomer Esiason.
34-yard gain.
The guy that gets in shotgun, a lot of no huddle, just steps up, starts to run, moves, buys a little time, and buys enough time against the zone to find Frank Sanders wide open. That'll happen against a zone. If you can move and disrupt their rhythm, you can find a big hole in the zone.
There at midfield. 6 minutes left. McElroy gets the carry, and he is cut down again right at the line of scrimmage by Darren Woodson this time.
There's Chad Hennings there. We saw him just a couple of plays ago. Now, the one thing that these defensive linemen of the Cowboys do is they take themselves out. And we were talking to Chad yesterday that it's up to them. It's not a coach's thing. The coaches don't rotate the players. The players kind of rotate themselves. And of course, I would never I never did that when I coached. If I were to coach again, I wouldn't do it.
Childress took his place. The ball is batted away. Childress took Hennings' place. Boomer let it go, and one of the Cowboys deflected it. It might have been Childress.
Well, you know, Boomer does that a lot. He keeps that ball down, and then sometimes he doesn't get enough separation from his line, and that's exactly what it was there. That a big part of that was his fault. You have to get some separation from your line, and then you have to get the ball in a lane. You just can't throw it that low. You see, he had no separation, and it was Ray Childress that got his left hand up and knocked it down. Wonder what Ray Childress was doing like a week ago.
I don't know. Ranching.
Yeah, but I wonder what, he wasn't thinking about football or anything. He was on a ranch down there in Texas.
3rd and 10. Here's Boomer back to throw it. Has time. Batted down, incomplete. The coverage by Kevin Smith, and good coverage. Rob Moore, the intended receiver, and the Cardinals will have to punt.
This is what you have to do. If you're not going to get your bump, then you better just shadow the guy. And Kevin Smith is doing that. When he makes a move, you make a move. When his hands go up, your hands go up. That was excellent coverage there.
Mike Devlin, there's the coverage that John was talking about. Mike Devlin's an injured Cardinal. The center.
Mike Devlin, remember, he was the backup for years for the Buffalo Bills.
Behind Kent Hall. Five minutes, 12 seconds left to play. Dallas 10, Arizona 6.
It was his own man, his right guard, Anthony Redmond, that fell on his knee. And it seems every time, or most of the time, when you see an offensive lineman injured today in pass protection, it's usually his own guy rolling up on his leg.
Fiegels gets off a high, good kick. And the Cardinals are going to down it at about the 1-foot line.
No.
Now they say they'll bring it out. The momentum carried it into the end zone.
Oh, they're arguing about that.
Yep.
It looked like one official said there, and the other official started waving right there. That's the sign for touchback, 20-yard line.
They'll bring it to the 20.
Again, if he touches the ball and the ball is in the end zone, or he's in the end zone, yeah, see, his foot was right there in the line. That was a good call.
Tito Paul is number 27. This game's presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Arizona Cardinals and the National Football League is prohibited. 10-6, the Cowboys lead it.
That's a Lundus Bryce there, Pat. He injured his his knee. Remember when Larry Centers hit him down an interception play, and he was taking Deion Sanders' place.
That's Emmitt Smith, who's hit at the line of scrimmage as he tried to cut to his right by Seth Joyner. And right now, let's again return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Hey, Pat, rare footage. Steve Young back looking for Brent Jones. Instead, Chad Cota picks him off. First interception since October 20th. That's 146 passes. But it's been that kind of day as San Francisco trails by 13. Back to Pat and John.
And Dallas leading 10-6. Second and long. Aikman back to throw it. This is batted away by Bankston.
Yeah, Michael Bankston just got up the field, and Troy Aikman went to turn. Now watch Bankston. He's here. He just comes up the field on his pass rush. When Troy Aikman gets back here and turns this way, Bankston just gets between him and the receiver. Watch Bankston, 63. See him out here get up the field. Now when Troy Aikman turns that way, there's Bankston between Troy Aikman and the guy he's going to throw it to.
It's third and long. Third and 9. 4:20 left to play.
Cowboys aren't very good this year in this situation.
Aikman whips it outside, and the pass is caught by Kevin Williams for a first down.
Yep, they were good in it in that situation.
Ronnie Bradford made the stop.
Here's Kevin Williams on this side. Now, he has to get up and pass the first down marker before he runs that out so that Troy Aikman could throw it where only he can catch it, but catch it for a first down.
Perfect pass. First down, Dallas at their own 31. And that's Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt still scrambling up to about the 38-yard line, stopped by Enos Williams. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. The associate director is Rich Russo. Broadcast associates Mike Roig and Fran Morrison. The studio is produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill, and our best wishes from all of us to Willie Yarbrough. Oh, Willie's listening.
Yeah, old Willie's going to have surgery on his leg and next week or so, and sure he'll be fine. He's missing us too, and we're missing him.
Second down. This is Emmitt Smith again. Chased around the corner to the 40, didn't get the first. Enos Williams again made the stop.
This is a big play right here. This third down play, because Arizona, if they can stop them, they're in a good situation because they really have 5 timeouts. I mean, they're going to get they have all 3 of theirs. They're going to get a 2-minute and a change of possession if they can stop him here. Now, of course, on the Cowboys side, if they can get a first down here, then that's going to change that whole time thing.
They're 4 out of 12 in these third down situations for the day. Aikman lets the clock run down as long as he can. And the handoff is to Emmitt Smith. I'm not sure he got it.
And this is going to be a big spot. Because if
2-minute warning.
Barry Switzer knows that, because if it's not a first down, I think he has to punt the ball here. If it is a first down, of course, then he can take the 2-minute warning and then force Arizona to start to use their timeouts. Don't move it. He's putting his hand on it so no one else can move it. That is a big spot.
Yep. Big first down. A big spot, as you said. And we have the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go at Sun Devil Stadium. Dallas 10. The Arizona Cardinals 6. 2 minutes left. Dallas leading 10-6. Dallas points coming as the result of turnovers, all 10 of them. Arizona's 2 field goals. Took the opening kickoff and marched to one of them. First and 10. at their own 42. Big first down by Emmitt Smith. They give to Darryl Johnston. And the Cardinals are forced to take a timeout.
Yeah, and again, that first down that we said was a big first down. Emmitt Smith had just got it. If we would mark the line, see, here's a line right here. This line here is where he has to get to for a first down. Now watch how close that is, and if he gets to that line. See, the line will come back here in a second. See the line just sitting there by itself? And right there is where they spot the ball. That's about as close as you can get.
And when he rolled on his back, that's when he got it.
Yep. And I mean, it's just that can be the difference in a game. Just the roll on the back, the getting the ball out there.
Not just in the game. Think about down the road.
Yeah, I mean, this if the Cowboys win, this is a big win for them because their closest competition, of course, was the Washington Redskins. They lost. The Philadelphia Eagles, they lost. The Cardinals, like Vince Tobin said, this is their playoff game. If they don't win this game today against the Cowboys, they're going to be out of it.
Cowboys have beaten the Cardinals 12 straight times. And Aikman's going to throw it to Irvin and get another first down. I think that surprised everybody.
Yeah, but that's Ernie Zampese because he knows that you have to take your timeouts in bunches. And once you take one, you can't let them get another first down. Okay, now Arizona took their timeouts. Now Ernie wants to get another first down. So he calls a pass to get the other first down. Now they can run the clock out.
And the clock goes. The Cardinals have 2 timeouts left, and Aikman again will take his time, get them set. This is Emmitt Smith for a couple.
Remember on Thursday, Thanksgiving, it was Emmitt Smith's big day. Well, today's Michael Irvin's big day. Look at this, 8 catches, 198 yards, a touchdown. And this is big, this run after the catch. I mean, he made him miss him. And of course, that's his season high, that 198 yards. But that's what the Cowboys over the years have been. They have to get back to is some form of balance. And they really don't have it, but it has to be either Emmitt Smith has to do part of the running and Michael Irvin has to come up big in the pass receiving department.
Don't forget, following football, Home Alone 2, and then the X-Files after that, except on the West Coast, as we wind down in the Valley of the Sun.
Isn't this something, this country, that you can be out here today and it's 80, 85 degrees, maybe 90 degrees down there in the field, and then in the other end, and places like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and New York, and back in the east it can be snowstorms, and Green Bay, you got your frozen tundra, and here you got this weather, and you're in the same country.
It's a great big country. Here's Emmitt down to the 35, and the Cardinals. Lassiter makes the stop, and the Cardinals burn their last timeout.
Yeah, there's old Nate Newton getting up a little slow. It's been a tough job for that offensive line. The offensive line of the Cowboys that has been a plus for them over the years really didn't control this defensive line of the Cardinals.
No, they didn't.
The Cardinals, we talked about how they use a gap defense, and I would say that they're trying to control the gaps, not to control the men. And I think that the Cardinals probably won that battle, the battle of the line. And then it got to be turnovers and things like that. But I don't know that this offensive line of the Cowboys had a great day today. I mean, these guys on the Cardinals, they fought them.
But the W goes in the Cowboys column. The playoff picture now in the NFC, the division leaders will be Green Bay, the 49ers, depending upon what happens to them against Carolina and Dallas. And the other 3 would be the wild cards if the season finished today. I'll stop the clock.
And if the season finished today under that thing that we were just talking about, what would happen is the Green Bay Packers and the 49ers would get the bye, Dallas would host a wild card along with Carolina hosting a wild card.
Defense number 58. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Eric Hill jumped a little early. You never know, and this year it's been a hard year to figure.
Well, because there's no dominant team.
Right.
And you don't know. You say in the NFC who's the best team, and you can argue that all the time, and because the answer is there's no best team or no best team yet.
Aikman just quarterback sneaks. Should have enough for another first down, and that should do it. The Cowboys don't have any vacation left on their schedule. They got New England next week. And the Patriots are playing very well. And then they have that final regular season trip to Washington. Although Washington is so beat up.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys are going to be in the playoffs, and I think the question is not are they going to be in the